everybody's always been saying, "Oh, Pro Wrestling won't be here," but it's I think it's always going to be here. Okay, when I thought WWE was going to end, right? Or like there was like those rumors, I thought that was a very real possibility. But as long as like wrestling in real life is like popular or like watched, there's always going to be pro wrestlers. There's always going to be those influx of little kids coming in. There's always going to be the influx of new people, new faces. It's always going to be around. Now, do I think it's going to be as I think in the future, it's rather going to be a lot smaller than it is now or a lot bigger. It's not going to stay. There's like an incline, I guess, right now of how it's been going. It's been going pretty well as far as EWE goes. That's all I'm really kept up with. But people usually seem excited and motivated to go there. So I think it'll always be around as long as Roblox and actual, wrestling is a thing.
What do you see as the biggest challenges facing pro wrestling? How do you plan the community will address?
I think the biggest issue, and it's always been a big issue, is like people being able to come together to make like events people care about. And I feel like right now, a lot of the top feds and like the RWA are really lazy and they're still like at the top. And the reason I say this is rather going to be like, it's rather going to be like really big in the future, really small, is because rather feds and fed owners and people are going to step up and eventually like take over, or these feds are going to stay at the top. Nothing is going to progress. And the only reason I think that's a real possibility is because over the last since really APRW ended, what feds have there really been? I mean, there's BPW that ended, VPW that ended, there's EWE, but like that's really it. And like I love EWE, but EWE isn't APRW or even BPW. Rather, these feds are going to have to progress and step up, or this is probably just going to take a huge decline again.
Can you speak to any specific changes or improvements that you would like to see in pro wrestling in the future?
Yeah, sorry, that was your other question. I'd like to see people come together more often to put these events on. Like, I'd like to see more feds work together. Like, they don't have to make an alliance to do it either. You can just have collaboration shows. I feel like everybody should be trying to work together to put on the best event and the biggest event. I feel like feds should just really work together because it's beneficial for both of them. So why wouldn't you? But I feel like people's temper or ego or how they feel about maybe people who might work at another fed or how maybe they've been treated at another fed. Like there's just stuff that always seems to get in the way, but I feel like working together is just really the main change I'd like to see.
How do you see the level of competition and player engagement evolving in? What steps do you think that the community is doing that ensures the growth of the success in the virtual ring? In other words, what do you believe to be do you think the change in competition is going to be better? Because obviously you have been on record for saying that you believe that the standard gotten lower, and that could be a result of simply just people at the top being so much at a higher level than there might be an imbalance in the qualities ranging these popular. What do you believe the competition heading forward after you're gone? The level of competition.
Honestly, I feel like how I feel about the newer generation is probably how about the I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I feel like there's always going to be people who are on top, right? But I don't necessarily think they're going to be as good as, say, like the people on top right now. And I know people are like, I don't know, trying to train, but a lot of people are really just bad and don't have the motivation or want to, which is fine. But as far as competition goes, I feel like anybody from any older generation who was good could just come in right now and dominate, not against me, but I don't think it's going to improve either. Who is even a rising star right now? It was early, but then that got shut down and he loses a lot of matches, especially to bigger people like me, Vegas, Mint, Ridge. There was Ked, and I love Ked, but he loses a bunch of matches to people who really aren't even good either. I don't see anybody like stepping up, which is, I don't know. People are like, oh, I don't have time to do this, which is fine. It's just, the question is like, I just don't really see like anybody getting better anymore. Like, I don't see people starting to beat people they weren't beating. But there's definitely going to be somebody. There's got to be somebody this year who does that. Now, do I know who? No, maybe J. Cole. I don't know, but I also think he cheats. So that could be someone.
And maybe be a little bit more later on the subject of World Wrestling. The future of Roblox wrestling community and collaborations are expected to play a very crucial role in shaping overall experience for World Wrestling. So, in order to create a strong and vibrant community to enjoy and to enhance the enjoyment of wrestlers, how would you approach connecting and collaborating the community together? What would you recommend? How would you approach this? How would you tell, sort of, give direction in order to unite the community?
I think what it is people, especially now, this is like, I'm actively trying to do this. Like, me in Vegas is in the works, right? Like, I'm trying to put on big events, big matches. Like, I don't want to fight unless it's a big match. Like, unless I'm fighting somebody like a Vegas or a Mint or a Ridge, I'm probably not fighting. Or unless I'm defending a title, of course, but it would have to be a big title, the RWA title, for instance, for me to like step down to a lower level. But I think what you would do is, all it really takes is a simple DM. Like, even people I've had issues with, I'm just like, hey man, I had this idea. Like, don't be scared to like share and express your ideas to other people. Even if they're bad, or even if they're not the best, or even you're going to get that feedback of whether yes, it's good, no, it's not. And honestly, if you want to improve, that's what you need. You need people to tell you, well, that's not good, or you need new experiences. So all it really takes is, just a simple, hey, I want to do this. I'd like your Fed to be involved. Here's what I'd like your Fed to do. You can have your own vision, or you can say, you can tell me what you'd like to do. Doesn't really matter. All it takes is a simple DM and a conversation. But what I would do is, if I was a Fed owner, I'd probably get all the big Feds together, even if they're not in the RWA. They don't have to be in the RWA. You don't have to make an alliance, and just put on a good show. Just have like more collab events with like other Feds, and that's really it. That also builds relationships with not only people from that Fed, but people who go to that Fed who will be exposed to your Fed and might go.